Thank you very much, Ellie. Yeah, this is where I totally blow the program and do like a tap dance routine or something. We'll see, maybe later. So, fabulous to be here. 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning in East London. Wonderful. My name's Amali, I'm the CEO of Code First Girls. And as Ellie kindly mentioned, we focus on getting more women into tech and entrepreneurship. So we actually work with companies and we work with young women. And actually, I need to change my spiel there because from this week, we launched our very first Code First Girls Professionals course. So even if you're not at uni or a fresh grad, we've just launched coding courses. You get to go and join the community as well. Check out our Twitter feed. There's a promo code. Gotta love a promo code. But yeah, come and learn to code with us, and we do awesome things. So today was really about thinking about creativity, and I've been sort of reflecting on how I've kind of gone through my life and my career. I moved to Code First Girls in January, so that's when I took up my post as CEO. And it was the first time in my life that I had worked for a small company. The first time in my life that I had been in a senior leadership position, and the first time in my life where I was able to throw the book out the window on how we work and how my team works. And so it was a really sort of liberating experience to kind of think about, look, how is it that I want us to be working together? How is it that I want us to be thinking about we work? And how does kind of actually the world today feed into how we should rethink how we work as well? And that's really what Tractable Living is about. It's about thinking about how you want to live your life. And something which I want you to bear in mind as you go through all the amazing talks today is how can doing all of this actually help me to rethink what I want from life, the way that I want from life, and actually design my life in the way that I want it to be, rather than designing my life around my work, the other way around, which is always good. So I wanted to share with you first a few stories. So these are my friends Tanya and Andre. Can I get an R? Are they cute? So they are super, super lovely people. This is a picture at their wedding last year. Really interesting couple. So Tanya I've known since I was like 16. She's originally from Germany. She trained as a lawyer. And she has the most incredible capacity for knowledge. One of those people who kind of just learns everything. And what she found herself doing was, while she was actually doing her law degree, she was actually started doing tutoring. And we're not talking just tutoring in law. She tutors people who do like PhD in biochemistry and like totally random things she has no knowledge about, but she goes and learns and she teaches them. And so she was doing this to kind of earn a bit of extra money at home. Andre, her lovely husband now, he is an actor. And obviously anyone who has done any acting or has friends who are doing acting, it's a hugely stable career with a set income. So Andre also does other things on the side, and one of the things he got into was actually voice coaching. He has to learn different types of voices and stuff for accents, for roles and stuff. So for people who are, let's say, coming into a country where they want to either soften their accent or just speak better, feel more confident, he does a lot of that kind of coaching online as well. So what happened to Tanya and Andre? They went on holiday about 3 years ago. They went to Turkey and they loved it. I mean, good food, good weather. And it really got them thinking about how it was that they were going to be living their life. And the reason being, they, like a lot of us, they were living in South London, trying to scrape their pennies together to buy a house. And they realised that actually this wasn't the way they wanted to live their life. And so they made quite an important decision. Tanya decided that actually she didn't want to practice law, she wanted to do more of the tutoring work. And Andre decided actually the accent softening, the voice coaching was something that he wanted to do a lot more. And the special thing about that is that they could actually do it remotely. So they could actually do a lot of their work over Skype, over email, they can do it over calls. And so they came to the decision that if they could do this remotely, and actually if they could make a living out of this, why the hell were they doing it in Brixton when they could be doing it here? Yeah, I know. We've got a bit of sunshine today, but this was really depressing when I was putting these slides together last week and sort of drowning. This is Anatolia in Turkey. I was there for their wedding last year. It is beautiful. And they live a very happy life here now. Obviously, going to the sea, and they really enjoy Skyping me while sitting on a terrace drinking a glass of wine whilst I'm in West London. Anyway. So that's their life now, and they've decided that this is what they want to do, and they're very happy there. It took a little bit of time, obviously, to get their careers off and just get business going, but they're really making it work, and they decided that this was how they wanted to live their life. Another example, so I don't know, this kind of been doing the social feeds. Does anyone recognise this? Probably not. Right, okay. this is a place called Hubud. Hub in Ubud. Or Ubud, I'm not sure. Anyway, this is in Bali, in Indonesia, and it's a co-working space. Now, I work out of a co-working space as well, so I'm at the Club Workspace in Chancery Lane. My co-working space looks a little different. It does not look like this. So that's if you go and you want to run a business in Ubud and you join Ubud, it costs you about $200 a month. You can actually then get high-speed internet access. You can get printing and all of the usual kind of co-working things. You do have different kinds of problems there as well. So issues like this, which obviously again I don't have in Chancery Lane often. But again, sort of it's around sort of if you want to do something a little differently, actually think about how do I want to design my life so that if this is what I want to do, then I can do that. And there are options now, and technology is actually a great way to activate this and to enable you to actually do this as well. Someone else I wanted to talk to. So, we talk about sort of flexible living and we think it's something sort of pretty new, but actually it's not very new. And the woman I want to speak to is actually this woman over here. So if you haven't come across her already, her name's Dame Steve Shirley. She is a true icon. Do go and check her out. And she's impressive for a couple of reasons. First of all, she set up a company in the early 60s called Freelancers International. And this was a really interesting company for a few reasons. Number one, it was doing software at a time where no one was talking software. So everyone's talking hardware, they wanted to do software. And they did some really interesting pieces, things like coding the black box for the Concorde. And beyond that, though, the second interesting part was that at what the peak was, probably about 800 staff, 98% of them were women, and the majority of them were working from home, around their families, around their kids, quite literally in some cases doing punch cards and writing code on their kitchen tables. And this is really astonishing. She basically started it as a business because she said, look, we have all of this amazing people with this amazing talent. The reason that they're not able to get involved is because of their lifestyles as far as their family. Actually, let's flip the model on that. Let's rethink how the work can actually fit around the lifestyles. Because if we're saying that they're good and they're bright, they're capable and they're going to add value, they can do that in the way that they want to do it and then deliver to us rather than the other way around. So she set up this business. It was incredible because she actually changed the reason that she calls herself Steve is because when she used to write letters called Stephanie, no one would answer. But she grew this business. It grew to something like 20 million turnover, which at the time was huge. She then sold it. And she now sort of does a lot of writing. She has a great book and stuff as well. So again, sort of, really, really innovative models and very, very early on. So it's not something new either. If we take a look, so what does this actually look like today? About 14% of us in the UK regularly work from home. If you look at London, actually, that then goes up even a little further. So about 1 in 5 of us actually works from home. And that's about 600,000 people in London. So that's a lot of people, and it's not just tube strikes. I know. Appropriate for this year, but anyway, I actually started thinking about this around tube strike. Anyway, it's all good. And there are lots of sort of studies which look at, I guess, productivity around sort of working at home as well. This one's actually from a study by Stanford University. People who work from home tend to be around 13% more productive. They take less sick days, and they have a quieter working environment as well. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm really easily distracted by background noise. I love my office because it's pretty quiet, but I otherwise tend to go into this kind of black hole of distraction, usually on YouTube or something like that. So it's really helpful to have a sort of quieter work environment where you can kind of actually design, okay, now I'm concentrating, or actually now I'm really distracted, let me go and make a cup of tea and come back to it in 10 minutes. And looking at the figure, I guess the top one, the 13% more productive, that's not a figure to be sniffed at. So that means about an extra hour of work every day, which over the year is about an extra month of work, which if you're a small company or any size of company, that's a huge increase in productivity by just allowing people to work around the way that they actually want to live their lives. Are you a morning person, an evening person? Do you have to drop off family? Do you have a plumber coming to fix your boiler? Whatever that is. So it's really worth thinking about, how that can kind of, add to your business, not just in the well-being of the employees as well. So why not? Now, I'm not saying that flexible working is for everyone at all times, because it simply isn't. There are some jobs where you just need to be in front of a person, maybe at some of the time, maybe at all of the time, but there are challenges. One of the biggest challenges, I think, is probably around trust. So this really comes down to, if you've got your people working from home, do you trust them to actually be doing the job that you're paying them to do? Should seem simple, because I guess the adage should be, if you've hired these people to do the job, you should trust them to get on with it. All of us know that the reality of politics and people's, how people work and their confidence and egos and all of those things are a little different. So actually, trust plays a huge role in whether or not effective home working can actually take place. And actually, I guess a continuation of that is looking at how progression is managed as well. So there is, I guess in a lot of companies, politics which plays a part in how people progress, and actually getting face time. And if you've got people working from home, are they going to get the same kind of exposure? Are people going to still believe that they're developing and working and delivering value if they're not actually sitting in front of them 8 hours a day? So actually thinking about how, as a company, you organisationally design your progression processes is a really key part as well. And this is, from an individual, you need to think about, if you're asking for working from home, these are the kind of things that you want to make sure that you're kind of covering off as well. There are obviously issues also around sort of technology and those kind of things. Having people who are actually, communicate well, having the right platforms, having the right tools, those become really, really important. But there are things that you can actually do to kind of overcome a lot of those challenges as well. So if you decide that you do want to do it, it's really about sort of thinking quite carefully, and I think even before, in some cases, that you hire people, how do you want these people to be working? So I know for Code First Girls, when we hire people, we do a lot of remote working. We have a very small core team, and most of our people who work to deliver our courses are all across the UK. So we need people who are really good communicators. We need people who can actually, self-motivate, who can work from home, but who can also then use the tools that we need to actually keep in touch with us and actually are proactive. So that's something that we look for in the people that we recruit. Because if you've got someone who is, really, really sort of, doesn't like picking up the phone, they're going to struggle to then keep in touch with us and make sure that we're doing the job that we should do. And the other thing is really around technology. So how can your technology help you to communicate better, keep in touch, work better, work quicker and more efficiently? And thinking about even just a small company like us, these are probably some of the things we use pretty much every day to help us do what we do. And this is the wonderful thing about today, is that there are billions of tools out there which you can use. And the joy of a lot of them is that you can actually just either plug one into another. They have API feeds, you can build dashboards, you can build portals, and really sort of think about creating this sort of bespoke way that you want to be working. You don't have to be tied to the old systems and one system does everything. So there's a lot of flexibility around that as well. And then I guess just lastly, if you're looking to, let's say, do something which is, for example, freelancing or working on your own, being an entrepreneur, don't forget that events like this, communities like this, can really help you with that as well. So I did a talk recently for a company called Juno. They basically are a freelancers membership organization, really interesting company, not because they just join people to potential jobs and they don't take a cut, which is nice, but they also do things like guaranteed payment terms, so that if you do a job for a company, you get paid in 14 days, even if the company hasn't paid them, which is really nice. But also, lots of other communities, whether it's, Geek Girl Meetup, whether it's Campus, whether it's the co-working spaces, the IPSE, who are a IT membership organization, and they do things like you can actually get insurance and stuff as part of your membership. So lots and lots of other organizations which you can tap into, which again kind of give you that big company cover, but on a personal basis. So again, don't be limited by all of those things either. And so that's, I guess, pretty much the main bits. If you want to find out more about Code First Girls as well, so we again have a really fantastic community. We have lots of people who do some really amazing things. Come and check out our webpage, come and check out our events. Our Twitter feed, like I said, has promo courses, some professional courses now as well. But really kind of take the opportunity to, if you take anything home, it's that there's a world of opportunity out there as far as what you do, the kind of technology you can get involved in. Use that and design your life around that. Don't get it to design your life around them. So that would be it.